So welcome to another video. Today we're talking about a special car because it's my car. It's also a car that doesn't exist, or right now doesn't exist so much. Back in the day there were a few, but a lot of them crashed. So today we're talking about Toyota MR2. As you may see, this is an MR2, first generation from the 86. Look at that shape, that angular shape. It's so special. If you compare it to nowadays, there's nearly anything like that. And for sure, very special pop-out headlights. Nowadays, you don't see them anywhere. Little kids think it's old school Ferrari, but no, it's not. This car is a middle engine car. Even before the very popular Honda NSX in Japan, this was the first middle engine car. Let's see. Let's open the door. Also in here, you feel straight away you're back. Yeah, not 90s yet. Like I told you, 86. You're at the beginning of the 90s. Look at that seats, red and black. Today nobody would buy this. Nobody. And I understand why. I totally understand why. But you can see it. It's back from another era. Now let's open the hood. Here is the engine. The engine, very special. You know why? Because it isn't special. It is straight out of a Toyota Corolla back in the day. The only difference is the fuel injection. The injection is a different one, but the engine, the block is exactly the same as the Corollas back in the day. The reason for that was because the MR2 shouldn't be a sports car at the beginning. It should have been a comfortable car to drive. First point was it had to be fuel efficient. Number one, fuel efficiency. And that doesn't sound like a sports car. With the time, about 5 years later, when the first prototype came out, a lot of things changed. It evolved to a real sports car. Where do you put your baggage or whatever you want to take with you? Well, there are two possibilities. Number one, behind the engine. You can open it or close it with your key. There is all my trash to film, to clean the car or whatever. It's deep. There is place for something, but not a lot. When I went to vacations with that car, we were two persons. Yeah. Behind is one place for one baggage, and yeah, it gets warm with the time. Go in there again. You pull this latch, and since there's no engine in front, you have another trunk. But so many people don't know about that. And even an old spare tire. But here you have also a lot of space. Of course, if you have something that shouldn't break, that's fragile, I wouldn't put it in here. But normal baggage for vacations, no problem at all. Here should come a badge. Especially there's an eagle. That's a logo I have, but I wanted to put it on my car when I have a new paint job, because I wanted to paint it a long time ago, but always when the money was here, something different came. Like it is with those cars. It is what it is. You have to take it how it comes, and if it shouldn't be like that, yeah, it isn't. But let's go into the car. So early 90s. Look at that steering wheel. Big, really big. And like I told you before, it isn't a much electronic, but very important. Electric windows. Even the passenger has electric windows. To be honest, I always get nervous using them, because this one, the left side, the driver's side, broke once. The headlights, you turn it like that, lights go down, light goes up. Same for the wipers, you have one button. This one has no AC. but there were American versions or even British versions, I think, with AC. This one hasn't. That's your handbrake. Very cool. What I think is you can put here your arm, and here you can drive it very comfortably. You can drive it fast and you can drive it comfortable at the same way. That's very cool in my opinion. Look at that. Like they would have said, there's gonna be a time when there are smartphones. You can put your smartphone here on a very cool little carpet. Yeah, that's nice. What else? What else? Yeah, nothing special. You have 3 pedals, you have your clutch, brake and gas. They're with the time they're a little bit sloppy, but they work. It's everything perfect. So I think that's it. So now let's take this car to a drive. Let's see how it drives for its 34 years of age. Not too hard right now, it's still cold, but still, let's drive. Wow, smooth. It works very well. The gearbox with the clutch, even though I told you before the clutch is a little bit sloppy, that's true, but it works so well because the gearbox is direct but not too hard. It works very well. You give a little bit of heel toe and you rev it up until it's perfect for the next gear. Works perfect. Really nice. Only thing is the dampers are a little bit soft, but that's okay. They're 34 years old right now, and even though when they were new, I'm not sure, I wasn't there, but I think they were soft too, because even though some of MR2s, some of these Gen MR2s with less km, and they're still soft, but that's okay too, because you can drive this one in the city, you can drive it over speed bumps without breaking your back, without breaking the car. It works very well. So this car is an all-round sports car. It's, in my opinion, for the time it came out, perfect. It has everything. You can compare it, of course, with an NSX again, like I told you, but you don't have the advantages you have in this car. With an NSX, going over speed bumps, it's always an adrenaline kick. When you're driving on a mountain road, something like I'm driving now, maybe a little bit more difficult corners, there you have to be careful, because the thing is, if you enter the corner too fast, the damage is already done, let's say like that, because you enter too fast. It is a mid-engine car. The point of gravity is exactly in the middle. You turn immediately. If you know how this car works, if you expect it, then you can save it maybe. That's also the cool thing. You can drive this car fast, but you have to know how to drive and what to do and what you can expect from this car. For example, now this car holds me very good, but I felt entering the corner a little bit faster, it wouldn't have worked, for sure. In the corner, once you're in the corner and it holds, no problem, then you're kind of safe. This car, it has its very own character, and that's so cool. I gave it to drive to a friend that has a modern sports car, and I gave it to drive to a friend that has an old school BMW. You can't compare them. That's a different world. And both of them, they were so excited because they told me they didn't expect this car to have that personality, to drive that well, and that you feel that attached to it, because you drive with this car and it's something special. The reason, because I like every car, really, nearly every car I like. If it is electric, it's a gasoline engine, whatever. Every car has its own special bond. Of course, all the cars much better than newer, because here is some special energy around this car. Like I told you, you have to think if you drive this car. Newer cars have more power, also more engineering that helps you drive. This one doesn't have anything. No ABS. No, this one has really no driver assistance at all. Yeah, that's cool. But it's also, like I told you, challenging. Especially in winter, I don't drive this car. It makes so much fun to drive, and the idea of this car, that is what I think is so fascinating, because this car wasn't meant to be a sports car at the beginning. The MR2 wasn't meant to be an MR2. It was meant to be a fuel efficient car that is maybe fun to drive. Okay, you hear that, you think, nice, Toyota is going to do a second Corolla, a better Corolla, or whatever. But back in the day you heard that, yeah, okay, nothing special. But then in 5 years things changed so much. In 81 the first prototype came out, and we had already a sports car. It evolved so fast, and still it's engineered so straightforward. The engine is straight out of the Corolla. But that's the cool thing, because you know it won't break. You can rev it really high without any fear of anything breaking. It's cooled so well. The only difference between the Corolla engine and this one is the fuel injection. But otherwise, same thing. You can push it really high. You don't have to have any fear. Because on steep roads like we're right now, you have to push it. Otherwise, you won't get anywhere. So let's get it a little bit calmer. Nearly died. But still, so cool. You can drive this car so differently. In the city, you can drive 50 km per hour in fourth gear, and perfect. No, it's not loud. Your fuel consumption is very low, so everything perfect. But this is so cool that this car wasn't even thought to be a sports car, and then bam, Toyota made a sports car, a really good sports car with a good fuel efficiency, and like I told you, direct out of the Corolla engine. So this engine won't break. There are some MR2s around with 200 and 300,000 kms that didn't broke. You don't have to have any fear. There are other things that break, and the highest fear you have to have with those cars, rust. In rust we trust. Rust will always come. I already had to fix some rust points, and that would cost me a big pile of money that wanted to invest to paint this car, to give it a new paint job. But yeah, in rust we trust. Rust came, but yeah, a lot of, or a big part of it, it's fixed now. So I hope it stays like that, and I think it will, because I don't drive it so much in the rain or things like that. I usually drive it on sunny days like now. So what I'm telling you, you're driving 80 km or 100 km per hour, and you hear the wind, a loud wind noise. So for example, when I'm driving with somebody else on the highway, you have to speak up because of the wind noises. But of course, it's also because of the engine. But wind noises are here. Definitely.